Yes, I have seen the AP article and I have shared a link to the Frontline episode. I even found out from a friend today that there is a very short clip of my YouTube video included in the episode, and yet I still have not watched it myself. And that is because I have not had the emotional bandwidth to put myself through that. I have shared my experiences as a Korean adoptee since 2008 publicly on every platform that I've been able to: YouTube, my own blog, op-eds, my personal essays in HuffPost. And I've been proud to do so. It is a privilege to have a platform to speak out, and yet it never should have been the responsibility of adoptees to share our pain with the world in order for the world to see the injustice. So, I am very grateful that it is getting the global attention that it deserves, and I hope that there is some level of accountability that comes from it. But my primary concern is for my fellow adoptees who, like me, were going about their daily lives this week only to have this bombshell drop, and everyone reaching out asking if we've seen it, if we've watched it, how we're feeling, what we're thinking. I think about the adoptees who are maybe still in the fog or slowly coming out of the fog, and where they're living and who around them will understand when they want to talk about this. And I have so much anger already from my own personal experiences, let alone all of the documented corruption and what we can't even imagine and will probably never even know that they got away with. And mine is one of the happy stories, you know? I found my Korean family and they're in my lives and I love them and they love me, and yet the only reason that I found them was because someone took mercy on me and broke the rules so that I could have a chance at spending time with them. Eastern Social Welfare Society, for my entire childhood up until the point that I visited the agency in person, withheld the fact that I had two biological sisters. Even after they shared that information with me when I was there in 2008, having just graduated from college and deciding to start the formal birth search. They did not tell me that they had my sister's names and contact information that entire time. I spent 5 years looking for them, going on the Korean TV show that is included in that PBS special, being told that it was hopeless, when the entire time all it would have taken was a phone call to one of my sisters. I asked the social worker to send one more telegram because I was about to get married, and I thought that it was something that my birth family should know about. And she took pity on me and broke the rules. It's the only reason that I found my sisters. So even though the agency loved our fairy tale ending and reunion, they had the power to facilitate that at any point in my life, and didn't. And the government wouldn't let them. So I don't need a PBS special to tell me how fucked up the system is. Because if I had known that my sisters existed, I would have looked sooner. If I had known that my birth parents were married, that my birth mother was not a single mom whose life I might be disrupting by looking for her, I might have started the search earlier. If I had looked even 4 years earlier, I might have had the chance to meet my birth father and to ask him all of the questions that I'll never have answers to. I might have had more than 2 visits with my grandmother before she died. I will watch the special, but I don't know what it's gonna do. My fear is that it's just going to turn Korea into a scapegoat without addressing any of the root causes. Yes, I am angry at Korea. I am angry at the agency. I'm angry at the system. But I am fucking livid at the United States and the war machine and colonialism and the Japanese government for everything that they put my country through to put them in the position where they felt they needed to export their babies to survive economically. I'm mad at those white evangelicals, the Holts, and all of the propaganda and the media that created this narrative about us being saved so that we could be commodified for wealthy white Christian parents who wanted to build their families at the expense of a country that had already endured so much for centuries. I'm mad that they even gave Holt the agency of voice in this show, as if Holt and agencies like them have not been speaking for us for our whole lives, for decades. I have so much to say, but I also have said so much, so many times, and in so many different ways. Only to hear things like, "You're so ungrateful. Your parents must be so ashamed of you. Would you rather have been aborted?" And I'm tired. And I really hope that if you have a Korean adoptee or an adoptee in your life, you are giving them the time and space to process this in any way that they see fit or at all. If they choose not to watch it, if they choose not to read the article, if they choose not to engage in this narrative, that is their right to, because we have fucking gone through enough already. But I don't want to be completely unhelpful, so because I'm a nerd and a bookworm and history geek, I would highly recommend not only learning about the history of transracial Korean adoption, overseas adoption, but also the history of Korea in general. Haunting the Korean Diaspora by Grace Cho is one of my favorite resources. Framed by War by Susie Wu. Korean Children and Women at the Crossroads of the U.S. Empire. Adopted Territory. Transnational Korean Adoptees and the Politics of Belonging. And Somebody's Children. The Politics of Transracial and Transnational Adoption, if you want to catch up to speed without asking for the emotional labor of adoptees in your life. That being said, I'm kind of a masochist, so I will probably watch the episode tonight anyway, and share more informed thoughts on it later. What are we?